Well, thankfully, a lot of people take electricity for granted, but it is a very important part of our society, obviously, and I was no different than anybody else. I took it for granted for a lot of my life until I started working in this industry. I oversee all of the operations and administration at Flathead Electric. We report to a 9-member board who's directly elected by our members. And I'm partial, obviously, but co-ops are the best business model for delivering electricity or utilities. You're accountable directly to the members. You don't have shareholders. So obviously our member owners are what we do this for.
Water is powerful.
About 80% of our electricity comes from the hydro system. I think hydro does what a lot of the other renewables can't, and that's, it's there when you need it, and so that's why it's important to make sure it's protected. And it's going to be really important in the next few years because a lot of hydro projects are having relicensing processes starting up, or if they don't already, and it's always not only an expensive process but a very timely, just takes a long time to renew a FERC license. I heard about Senator Daines' hydropower bill when I was back in Washington, D.C. earlier in the year. And the intention of this bill is to speed that process up, which not only saves money, but also does things to help the hydro project itself. For one, where your next 30 to 40 years are going to go and what are the requirements that are going to be so you can operate it more efficiently, which obviously keeps costs down. The hope is, of course, that we continue on this path of improving fish passage, which is obviously a big deal, and this bill tries to deal with that as well.
There are few energy or permitting bills that have the breadth of support from both sides of the aisle like this bill does.
If you've spent time in Washington, D.C., it's hard to find anything of a bipartisan nature, but it's not just Republicans and Democrats supporting this. It's amazing the support that comes from both the tribes and the governments and the municipalities and electric utilities like Flathead Electric. It's really neat to see something that does get, a wide swath support, and especially in our region where hydropower is so important.